by Telkom, moving with you. Celebrating our heritage, we are stepping into a bold new future. Join us. Telkom, moving with you.
All right, and welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at Citizen Television, here with two young, dynamic leaders, both of them running for senator, one for re-election, the other first time. Sakaja Johnson and Mutula Kilonzo Jr. in the house, and we're talking politics. Yes, nothing but. Gentlemen, let's go to some tweets and texts, if you will, if you don't mind.
With pleasure, Jeff.
Monica, what do we have? Tweets. Obed Musumbi, you say Mutula and Sakaja are governor material. There is a lot of hope for Kenya with such guys. Okay. Joanna Kimwele, you say Makueni Senator will be the next Kamba kingpin after Honorable Kilonzo. Really? What would your dad think?
He would say, that's my son, and I'm truly proud of him.
I'm sure his dad is proud of him.
Yeah, he must be, right? That was your first time public office after he died, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Elected after 42 days, with the highest.
How many days?
After 4 days.
4 days.
92.1%.
Wow.
Thomas Kihungi, you say, let Mutula first highlight his development record apart from political engagement.
You know, I don't know whether development is here is legislative, because our work is legislative.
Yep, go on.
My records are clear. Jeff, I'm second to none. Number 3 on bills, private bills in the Senate. One legislator, I've just told you, contributions leading.
And you've been very active in bills as well, huh? I mean, as a nominated member of parliament. Is that a real MP? Are you like a real MP? Or just help me out here, because
I get the same
perks,
privileges. I have the highest number of private member bills out of 349 members in parliament. I received an award in Nigeria, African Achievers Award.
Yes.
That only Desmond Tutu and that caliber have received. For my legislative work, for young people especially, for women, for persons with disability, 30% law, National Employment Authority, KDSE amendments. In fact, the other day, and I've actually taken the nation to court because they made it look like I had sponsored an amendment to the CBK Act, which is not true.
Right, I saw
was
that.
Changing the KDIC. KDIC is if there's a problem with your bank, you get 100,000 as insurance cover.
Yeah.
That 100,000 was set the year I was born in 1985.
You born in 85?
Yes, I'm 32 years old. 100,000 in 85 is not 100,000 today, you know. And so I was trying to question, because many of the guys who suffer, Chase Bank, Imperial, etc., are young people doing business. You know, people who have 3 million bob in their accounts, or a million, or even just 300,000 etc. And it's their working capital. You can't, give them 100K when their bank goes down to wait out. And many people have really suffered. I've sponsored the first amendment to the penal code. You know, in years, he's a lawyer, he'll tell you the penal code is really amended because of the work I've done in peace building in this country and cohesion. The first peace deal between the Samburus and Turkanas of Baragoi in Samburu North was witnessed by myself, you know, and we're able to get them together. And we've gone to Turkana, to Lokwar, Nakuse, to West Pokot, and all those places. Yeah. And I'm very big on bringing our people together.
1985, I was a year out of Form 6. Guy. Jacob Ogola.
Yeah.
Jacob Ogola. You say.
You sound like somebody I know.
Oh. Honorable Sakaja, what are you going to achieve for the Nairobians that Sonko never achieved?
I think first of all, we have different styles of leadership. I think Sonko has done well in his leadership capacity in trying to sort out a lot of the things that the governor has failed to do. I see the role of the senator a bit differently, and for me is to push the legislative agenda of this county. On top of that, to provide inspirational leadership that unites our people. I am very keen, and I'm ready with my first bill, which is about what I was calling Sakaja care. 486,000 households in Nairobi cannot afford health care. We have to bail out so many people every day from hospitals, a bit of 10K, 20K, because they cannot afford to go there. With 2.4 billion a year, from a county that has 45 billion budget, either as a conditional grant from the national government or from the county government, we can make sure that 486,000 households never have to suffer again to pay a bill in hospital, whether it is malaria or TB or AIDS or cancer, etc., and get healthcare. And that money must go to our facilities in Nairobi, and they must be run well.
As senator, you have no funds. Where are you getting money for Sakaja care?
You see, as a senator, we approve the resources that go to the county. And you can get conditional grants. There's something called the County Allocation of Revenue Bill that goes through the Senate. And there's a Division of Revenue Bill. In the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, if you talk to other senators, you can be able to designate certain funds that are, envelope funds that go for a specific, role within a county or within the counties. And that is what I'm going to push for. Okay. On top of that, I'll set up a legislative forum with all MCAs and MPs of both sides, ODM and, NASA and Jubilee, to make sure that we drive one legislative agenda in the county assembly and in the National Assembly.
Okay, Frederick Ousa, you say brilliant young leader like Sakaja needs to stand up and defend suffering Kenyans. I think he's better off as an independent candidate.
Too late. It's too late. And number two, I believe in my party. I believe in what it stands for.
Yeah.
I may not support all the leaders in the party.
If you hadn't won the nomination, would you have gone independent?
No. I would support the person who won. And I'm very grateful to all my opponents who went with me to the nomination, because we've sat together, all of us. There's a great man called Mutinda Kavemba, there's Mushiri, and there's Wahome, and there's Badi Ali. And we've agreed to all push one agenda together. And I think that's what party, maturity must be like.
Yeah. Are you happy to go for re-election? Are you satisfied with that?
Absolutely.
Why didn't you go for governor?
That's a good question, but I was not ready for it.
Oh, okay. Okay. SMSs. Numbers 22422. Let's see that first one up. Monica Morris, you say. Super Senator Sakaja. Is that your name? Is that what?
S3.
S3.
S3, that's what they call me, Super Senator
Sakaja.
And S3 means two things. Super Senator Sakaja and Sonko Sakaja Shebesh. 3 S's together.
As opposed to the 3 E's, right?
Yeah, those guys are going to get E's.
Evans, Esther, and Edwin.
Yeah.
And threesome.
Super Senator Sakaja has my vote. He's a true leader. He speaks the truth. He's the only leader who will get his seat by 8:30 a.m. Whoa.
I was shooting for 8, but I'll take that.
All right. Francis Mutinda in Makueni, you say yes. Mutula Jr. is not only a senator, but a governor in waiting for Makueni County after Professor Kifutha Kibwana. I asked you that question.
It has been answered.
All the best.
Thank you, bro.
Gentlemen, when you were part of the constitution-making process, weren't you, Sakaja?
Yes.
Were you?
No.
No. Your dad was, I think.
Yeah, I was doing technical work.
Okay.
Incidentally, his dad was my pal before I met him.
Is that right?
Yes, incidentally. And I think it's weird. I have many friends who have known through their parents, because I've had to deal with people much older than me from an early age. So as Mzee, we met in Naivasha and we became good friends.
Before you met this man?
Oh yeah, may God rest his soul in peace.
Yeah, indeed.
He was a great guy.
He was a great man.
Great
okay,
man.
we'll come back to him in a second. Real quick. The Senate was supposed to be a house of wazee. That's what you all conceived it to be. Your dad type.
That's what he used to say.
Okay.
Before
the Jenga Karumes, the Chukis. It was supposed to be the house of wazee. They sit there, they legislate while the Vijanas run around the National Assembly. What happened, Sakaja? Look at you. You're in your 30s.
No.
Okay,
I'm in my 40s.
Are you 40s?
Yes.
Oh, you look young, man.
Thank you, bro.
No,
Sakaja, what happened?
no, I remember, in fact, some of the discussions. At some point, they wanted the Senate to be called the House of Tribes. They wanted one senator per community. And at that time, I think we were saying we were 42 communities. Of course, the complication I remember was that our communities are not geographically compact, that you can say a ballot paper ya Wakamba ipelekwe Makueni, and you take the ballot paper for Luyas to Kakamega, etc. And really, that wasn't really the purpose. We wanted a house that was not going to duplicate the role of the National Assembly, but a house that is going to promote and defend devolution. So we've called it House of Wazee because there was that assumption that when you're the senator, you're the senior most politician in your country. In fact, many of the people who went for Senate later realized, oops, so what we really wanted to go for was for governor. Right. And because of that senior position, many people thought it was House of Wazee. There are many Wazees who are there, true. But I've seen a lot of young candidates now going for the Senate across the country. Yeah. And what we will see, it will be Wazee, but in the words of Nyashinsky, you know, nguvu na akili za nguvu na uwezo wa kijana na akili za mzee. That is what we're going to see. Do you know Nyashinsky?
You're quoting Nyashinsky?
Can you imagine?
Now you
Those
know.
are modern day poets.
Now you
Those
know.
yeah,
Mungu pekee.
Mungu pekee.
Aminia, Aminia. I
there
could
you
go
go.
on and on, my
There you
brother.
go.
I'm on the radio these days, man.
Hot 96.
You know?
And really hope that energy and vibrance can come into the Senate. We've got to drive it. And we're going to be quoting Nyashinsky.
Do that, man. I love it. By the way, you're right. These kids are poets, huh?
Yeah, it's
These
poetry.
people, the Octopizzo, all those guys. I keep forgetting the name, but you know, all those guys. Yeah, they're good.
We'll forgive you.
Thank you. Age.
It comes with age.
Age.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can quote anyone apart from Keno Maria, though.
That's so many, by the way. By the way,
Maria.
he's going to become an MCA.
Oh, is he?
In Machakos.
Does he have a ticket?
He has a ticket. What a ticket?
And what are his chances?
100%. He's going to sing even in the assembly.
All right.
You're going to ask me about the Senate.
Yes, real quick, Senate, and then we ask that question I asked you before the break. Go ahead, for Senate.
I've said this before, that one of the problems about us is when you are legislating, particularly when you have an interest, you can't see beyond yourself. The legislation we did about elections, we did it just because of the 2017 election. We didn't just figure beyond. So therefore, when they sat to discuss the Senate, most of the people who sat were members of the National Assembly. They never envisioned that they would sit in the Senate. So they made it weak.
Right.
And made the National Assembly have a little more powers to move around. They made the Speaker of the National Assembly, although the Senate is supposed to be upper house, the chairman of the Public Service Commission. That is what has given us a headache. But Jeff is supposed to be the house of review. If you look at the Senate or the upper house, everywhere in the world in the federal systems, that is the house that is supposed to moderate legislation, come in between and settle abuse and executive power. Executive power means that all over the world, the governments have always wanted to latch out and grab more to themselves. The Senate is the one that stands in the gap for the people all over the world.
Gentlemen, before the break, I asked you the question. Maybe it's unfair, and obviously I don't expect any other answer from either of you, but I'll ask it anyway. Uhuru Kenyatta, after his first term, can he win again?
Start with me.
Yes.
He has a real chance of losing, going from the statistics. Let me tell you, Jeff, I don't know how far, other than just being around here, how far much you go into the countryside and talk to people. The administration has lost a lot of support. People are disappointed by so many of the things that they said they would do and never got to achieve them. I mean, too much PR about this and the other. And I'm telling you, there's real anger and protest out there from their own strongholds. Forget about the ones that are already in NASA. So therefore, there lies in the problem. The only thing that you have now, Jeff, and I can disclose, is question of margins. That is where you're dealing with. Are you going to have a presidential runoff or not? Are you going to have adequate margins to cross the threshold of 50 plus 1? But as we speak, Jeff, we are standing very tall.
If the election was held today?
Would win. Absolutely. I can tell you.
Sakaja.
The one thing I love about our opponents, is the propensity and the habit of measuring political popularity by decibels and by volume, you know, and by masses and crowds. If you go out there and you have discussions, and we're all out there. In fact, today I was in your county, you know, with just consulting.
But in a room. You sat in a room.
Actually, I had 30 people from every ward in Makweni. And when we were listening to them, and you know, there's a realization that yes, there have been challenges, but a lot has been achieved. In fact, some of the questions being asked, there's a lady from Kaiti, I think she was from Kaiti, who was saying that yes, power has come, but the transformer, the power is not strong enough, etc. Those are the issues. And I said, you know, just look at the issues we're grappling with now. 5 years ago, you would not be in any town hall talking about there's a transformer, that power has come, that more than 27,000 schools have gotten electricity, that women are going to maternity for free, that, you know, so I mean, there's been tremendous progress. There have been challenges as well, and I'm always the first to point it out. There are times in which the government has struggled with certain issues, but who do Kenyans trust to be able to sort and deal with the challenges as they come, because there'll always be challenges. And what they're asking themselves, and not just in Kaiti and Makueni and the rest, and across the country, is that what is this new thing that the former Prime Minister and the former Vice President and the former Finance Minister Musalia, former Deputy Prime Minister, and the former Foreign Affairs Minister, who've been in government for collective close to 100 years, what is this new thing that they will suddenly be able to achieve, that they have not been able to? These guys, and I gave them an analogy, Jeff.
Go on.
And I tell them, if you get a cook to prepare for you a meal in 1 hour, and for the first 20-15 minutes, there's some rotten onions and tomatoes, and they have to remove them, etc. And the 1 hour is reaching. All the food is not ready, but the aroma is there. You can smell something good is cooking. Do you chase away that cook, or do you allow them to finish cooking? I said, by the way, actually, you let them finish cooking. All the promises have not been fulfilled, but the aroma is there across the country. There has been change. There are challenges, as with every other country.
Are you going to get rid of the rotten tomatoes and oranges?
Yes.
And
When?
onions?
Yes, of course. As they pop up, they're gotten rid of. The first president in the history of this country to get rid of a third of his cabinet because of allegations of corruption. That's nothing, Jeff.
Let me tell you, Jeff.
And
that's why I came with this book that I'm reading. It's called Designing the World Where People Come First. This one, government and politics. And Jeff, the point is this, that these guys are giving so many excuses about this. They take pride in saying we have taken electricity to every place in Makueni. Every place I go to Makueni, the transformer has blown, there's no electricity because they want to achieve this. There's solar panels which don't work. That sort of thing. Maternity healthcare that he mentions, Jeff, he doesn't know, and I'm glad it's coming to the Senate, that the government has imposed a condition on free maternity healthcare. Which condition is this? They're telling hospitals and dispensaries in Ethers and in Makueni, produce evidence that women have given birth before we give you the funding. I ask the question, is there something they don't understand called antenatal care, that you take care of the child before the child is born, and postnatal care, you take care of the mother and the child once the child is born? Now, when you tell Makueni, please give me evidence that dispensary X delivered 2 babies, when the funding comes from government, what is the status of that child? That is what I'm talking about. You cannot blow hot and cold. They are blowing hot and cold about everything. Everything is at a standstill. If it's standard gauge railway, it was supposed to go to Kisumu, now it's at Syokimau, but we are going to make sure that it gets there.
Jeff, are you hearing?
Wait, just listen. Just listen. So I was just standing in Makindo as the train was passing. We're asking, how has this one, that's what I'm talking about, people-driven policies, how has this translated into unga on the table? That's what I'm talking about. They're asking those fundamental questions to me. And therefore, the change they are looking for is people-driven policy. Means that every time we deal with something, it's the bottom of the pyramid. The 45 million Kenyans that they keep talking about, those 45 million Kenyans want to see that as you do the big things, Jeff, we are taken care of. As you do the big things, as you continue promising lofty things, stadiums, everything on air, the small little things that people want to see on their table every day. You cannot postpone the hunger of Kenyans in Makueni. I keep telling you, Sakaja, you can't. You can't tell them, okay, I'm sorry, you slept hungry today, tomorrow we are going to provide unga. No, they are starving today.
Jeff, that myopic view is what has been the problem in this country for years.
Oh my goodness.
That it is fashionable to talk about the hunger in Makueni, while for more than 30 years, a great leader from that region has never put a proposal even to set up the dam that is being opened by the president, being commissioned, Thwake Dam. When he's going to Makueni? When he's going to Makueni? In the next 2 weeks, he's going to be there. In fact, he's supposed to be there on Friday. Why hasn't there even been any proposal to do it? The issues he's talking about are problems that no Kenyan would ever be discussing 6 years ago. He's talking about the SGR moving fast. He's talking about how does this help people. He forgets that the town he's talking about, Makindu, became such a great center and town just because of the railway passing there.
All right, gentlemen.
Listen, let me finish. Let me just say this.
Okay, Sakaja will say and then you finish. Go.
Okay, let me finish. Jeff, Ethiopia has overtaken this entire region in terms of the GDP per capita, in terms of GDP growth, and in terms of all economic indicators.
And they built a railway that was cheaper than ours.
Yes,
Yeah,
they did.
of course.
And the story is this, Jeff.
And the
If you
island didn't go down.
if you read the Business Daily, it's because of 15 years of consistent investment in infrastructure. These things pay off. You know, if we want to have a view that, you know, let's just, you know, deal with the small things and forget to have a long-term view of the economy of this country, we'll be left behind, you know. And Jeff, as we're doing that, the little things are being taken care of as well. This is the first time when you have safety nets for the poor. You know, not everyone possibly is within that bracket. But if you look at the cash transfers for the aged, you know, many people have been receiving it. Many are grateful for getting that. If you look at you know, the issue of those above 70 now, you know, getting put, you know, being put into that bracket, it's something that's going to affect people. If you look at the issue of the subsidy when food prices went up because of shortage and a drought across, you know, across the region. If you look at the Food and Agriculture Organization report of February 2017, and it was across the region, and the subsidy that brought it to 90 shillings, despite the fact, and this is very sad, that in many of our supermarkets you will not find that unga because people are buying, panic buying, you know, you go and get it all out there. But that it was dealt with in such a quick period of time, after more than 3 million people had gotten cash transfers and had gotten food, you know, relief food provided, the livestock offtake had been done. You cannot say surely.
Senator, you've got 30 seconds. You've got 30 seconds.
Two things.
Go on.
The cash transfer comes biannually after every 6 months. That's number one.
When was it coming when Kilonzo was vice president?
Every 6 months.
Was it ever coming?
No, let me finish. You're interrupting my 30 seconds.
Did you hear?
The second thing,
Yes.
Jeff, you cannot ignore the question I've raised about food security.
No, you
The Galana Kalalu project was supposed to cushion the common mwananchi from the vagaries of weather. We are supposed to, a country where these guys were elected on a digital platform, supposed to know you're supposed to have adverse weather, take care of it in advance. Jeff, the common man, mwananchi in Nairobi, today doesn't want to know about this detail.
Gentlemen, that's a conversation for another day. But real quick, let me switch gears real quick. Robert Borales says these two are great and mature leaders. We need more like them. KJ, John Kiarie, who's running for Dagoretti South, right?
Yes.
He said, and I've researched this and I've seen the same thing on research. He says, to you, Sakaja, he says, you bear an uncanny resemblance to Tom Mboya. That's what he says, you know. You and Mboya, you rose into national limelight at the tender age of 22. You have lots of similarities.
Jeff, that's a very surprising and flattering tweet, message from KJ. He does not know that when I was in Tomboya, I was in Lenana. Tomboya has been my role model, political role model. He's the one figure in this country's history that I feel closest to. And such crazy similarities, but I hope and pray I'm the Mboya who will stay alive. Mboya was a great man. You can imagine in his 20s.
Yes.
You know, during the discussions on even before the airlifts, there was discussions on the Lennox Boyd Constitution, the little tone, all that. He would go to the UK. He would stay at the Piccadilly. When all this was Auko in a dormitory because of his international friends. He used to roll with JFK. He's role with Martin Luther King Jr., you know, and not just because he was, you know, he was feeling connected, but because of what he had done. He had a vision for this country.
In his 20s.
In his 20s. And you need to read the book, The Man Kenya Wanted to Forget. That's a man, I'm sure, who would have been president of this country.
Easily.
You're flattering this guy too much.
There's one for you. There's one for you coming. Monica, what do you have? Look at that picture. Senator, look at that picture on the screen right there.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Maina Kageni, your sister Kathy, and Senator Mutula. Oh, wait, is there something that you haven't told us?
How would I know? I've seen this picture before, but
are you serious?
It's strange.
Isn't this uncanny?
And Maina Kageni has been avoiding me. I wanted to find out from you.
Sibling rivalry.
Oh my God.
Gentlemen, it's a pleasure. Thanks so much for your time. I know you guys are busy on the campaign trail, but thanks so much. Let's do this again before August, okay?
Sawa sawa.
All right.
Yeah.
Where do you vote, by the way?
Kiambu, man.
Oh, you vote in Kiambu?
It's my hometown.
Oh.
Banana Hill. Why?
All the best, Jeff.
So Waititu is going to be the next governor.
Is that what you say? You say Waititu?
Waititu is going to win.
Kamoko can't take it?
I don't think he will. I think Wajitu's taking it.
All right.
He has it.
Thanks so much for joining us, folks. Keep tweeting at Sen, S-E-N, Mutula, at Sakaja Johnson, at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag, as always, is JKLive. Huh? Oh, right. Oh, the poll. Monica, where's the poll?
No,
Sorry.
my opponents have been mobilizing the whole day.
Here we go, gentlemen.
I have their messages.
Sakaja Johnson, 43% yes, 57% no. Mutula Kilonzo, Junior, 79% yes, 21% no. All right.
You're like your opponents are analog.
Well, you know, in this case, you said the eyes have it.
Jeff, I'm going to deliver that seat. I promise you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, as they say.
Yes.
Happy Eid, gentlemen. It's a weekend, Eid al-Fitr.
Yes,
and all those Muslim brothers and sisters out there. And thanks so much for joining us. Every Wednesday, you know where to watch and who to watch, because JKL is, yes, that's simple. Those 3 letters on the keyboard. JKL that follow each other right here on Citizen Television. By the way, JKL is sponsored by Telkom. Telkom, moving together. Thanks so much for being a part of this show. Good night. Good luck. God bless.
You're watching JKL, brought to you by Telkom, moving with you. Celebrating our heritage, we are stepping into a bold new future. Join us. Telkom, moving with you.